Welcome to Ask Your Injury Lawyers, hosted by Rob Taramina. Now, today's topic is going to break down a critical concept that could make or break your case, and that's statute of limitations. This is incredibly important that everyone needs to have at least basic foundational knowledge of. So in this episode, we're going to break down what that is, why it's important, and how this could impact you, your family member, and your case. Now, the statute of limitations is a legal deadline to file your case. If you miss it, you may lose your right to seek compensation no matter how strong that your case may be. Now, the statutes, they're going to vary state by state and the type of case. For example, personal injury versus medical malpractice. So let's use, for example, New York, and let's go over what the statute of limitations for a case in New York would be. Now, in New York, generally speaking, if you're in a car accident, it's going to be 3 years from the date of the accident for personal injury. For wrongful death, it could be 2 years from the date of the death. Now, shorter deadlines may apply if, for example, if it's a government entity is involved, and that could be as little as 90 days to file a notice of claim. And you're getting already to the important part here of why the statute of limitation is so important as it relates to these injury claims. We need to be paying attention to it. You need to be paying attention to it as someone who might be the victim of negligence here. Now, why does the clock start immediately? Well, time begins ticking the date of the accident, not when you start treatment or feeling pain necessarily. So waiting can cause evidence to be lost, witnesses to disappear, and it could essentially weaken the value of your case. It definitely weakens the potential for you to seek proper compensation for your injury. Now, there are real consequences for waiting too long, and this part we want you guys to really pay attention to. Insurance companies will deny your claim if the statute has passed. Lawyers may not be able to help you even if your injuries are serious, and you will lose your legal leverage completely once the statute of limitation expires on your case. Now, why should you be talking with an attorney right away after experiencing a serious injury, for example, in a car accident? Well, legal professionals, they have the ability to evaluate your case quickly, and they can do this accurately. They're going to help preserve evidence. They're going to file paperwork. They're going to protect your rights from day one. Early legal advice can make a huge difference in your outcome, which is why early on, right after you seek medical treatment, you're going to want to speak with a legal professional that can help guide you and preserve this potential case that you might have. Now, there are common myths associated with statute of limitations, and I'm just going to cover a few of them right now. The first myth is, I'm still getting medical treatment, so I've got plenty of time. Wrong. That is a myth. That does not determine when the statute of limitations expire. Now, the second myth is, some people might say the other driver's insurance will call me when they're ready to settle. That is also an absolute myth. That has nothing to do with when the statute of limitations could expire on your potential case. The other myth I want to talk about today is, some people say, well, I don't need a lawyer until it gets bad. Wrong. That is a myth, because by the time you feel like it's getting really bad, it might be too late for you to be able to seek compensation and for a lawyer to actually be able to help you. You want a lawyer on your case right away so that everything is preserved and your ability, your rights to seek compensation for your serious injury stays intact. Definitely you want to talk to an attorney as soon as possible. Now, what should you be doing right now? Let's say you've been injured in an accident, or you know someone who's been seriously injured in a car accident. What should you be doing right now? Well, number one, don't wait. After receiving initial medical treatment, you're going to want to speak to a personal injury attorney. 2, gather documentation, including police reports and medical records. Now, many law firms like Butterfield and Associates are able to come alongside the injured victim and actually help them in requesting these medical records and are able to actually get those police reports, which is another reason why it's important to contact an attorney, because they'll be able to guide you through that entire process, or in many cases actually do that for you. The other thing that you should do: avoid discussing the case with insurance companies until you've spoken with a lawyer. Now, if you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, don't risk losing your rights. You're going to want to contact Butterfield and Associates today at 1-800-NOW-HURT, or you can go online and visit them online at 1-800-NOW-HURT.com. Subscribe to the podcast for more straight talks and legal tips that we're going to be going through in the future. And remember, share this episode. It could save someone's case by educating them on the process and the situation that they're in. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Ask Your Injured Lawyers, where we are helping accident victims rebuild their lives. Take care.